Hi everyone, my name's Jim. I've been making some junk journal slash art journals, and I made this one I wanted to share with you. I made this for my niece Abby. She's going on a trip to Disney World in Florida, and I'm kind of artsy, so I wanted to take this and make it sort of artsy and vintage. So I tea stained the papers and inked the papers. Thanks for the inspiration, Jib and Neary. So this front cover was an old book. I recovered it with linen. Um, then I painted the castle on this watercolor paper and made it a tuck. Found some great images on Pinterest. Just so everyone knows, I'm not selling this. I haven't sold any of my journals ever. They're just usually for friends. So I made this a triple fold out, and I thought it would look nice right behind the castle. Let's take a look at what's inside. So started with Once Upon a Time on tea stained paper. Found this great image of Chip and Dale and went ahead and stitched around the side and found a leaf. Found some vintage Mickey and Minnie images to make a card for her to write on, and some great stationery, antique stationery. So we have an outline silhouette of Walt and Mickey, and then a quote from Walt Disney. And I printed this Mickey on a piece of vellum and made it a window to see through the other side. Covered it with text and stitched around it to echo the red. Mickey the Sorcerer's Apprentice. I found this great image of Mickey through the ages, so I made it into a journaling card. Attached some sari silk on the outside, and then some sari silk on this side as well. Over here we've got a drawing. I did the drawings of Minnie and Donald, a little quote from Donald Duck, and great. I got this inspiration from Jib and Neary as well. A little quote with the tag that comes out. This page had some stamps, so I printed out an image of the castle and stamped over it, made it into a tuck spot. And then a quote from Cinderella there. Found this great image of blueprints from the castle, so I made it into a journaling little booklet. Slips right back in there. This was from a vintage golden book I think I found at Goodwill, so I backed it with some tea stained and inked paper, some handmade marble paper that goes over it. This is an image that I found and cut out, just inked over a doily. This I painted on some watercolor paper and then actually stitched around and left the thread hanging so it looks like it's through the needle. I was really into that. This was also from the Vintage Cinderella Golden book. Some beads here. Found these great watercolors of Mickey and Minnie, so I printed them on dictionary page, and this side says mouse and this side says cartoon. Made this great Mickey face to cover the stitching for the signature. Found this, I think this might be a Tim Holtz W. This is for my niece Abigail, so I made the A charm for her. I didn't paint this. This is an image that I found on the internet that I liked, so I backed it with some great paper and stitched around it. I love this. This is a tuck that I made of the little aliens on Toy Story, and I found a neat picture to draw inspiration from, and I painted this Buzz/Woody journaling card, and when you take it out, you see the ooh. I thought that was fun. I just have a little charm. This was interesting. So I forget who I saw do this, but this kind of fold out, and these are all images from the It's a Small World ride, and I found the music for the text, so I made the music, the fold out, and some great vintage images of tickets for parking and the train. So I printed them out and made them into journaling cards to fit all these pockets. Here is a teapot from Beauty and the Beast. I had a hard time finding any Disney charms. Tea stained paper. I did a watercolor of one of the cats from Aristocats, and there's the family. I just did it on sari silk and attached it to the top. Here's a Dumbo belly band with a little Dumbo poster that I printed out, made it into a journaling section, and then this opens up with a magnet, and this is the song that Dumbo's mother sang to him, and a little place to journal. Found this image somewhere on the internet, and I just loved it, so I printed it out to make another little journaling card for her. She writes in this. This is a lot of writing space. Oh, I've got a deer charm for Danby. Love this page. Just a couple watercolors I did of Tinkerbell and Peter Pan with some quotes. This is another favorite page of mine. So I took some tracing paper, stitched around it, and then stamped some things that look like seaweed a little bit. Just cut out a Dory and Nemo. Found this great image somewhere online of all the fish. Painted this little guy and stitched around to show the waves. Just keep swimming. Another little charm. This is an Ariel that I printed on glassine bag, and then the song that she sings, Part of Your World. Just print that out onto a card to write on. A little drawing of Ariel with a dingle hopper up there. This little guy I think was from one of the Disney Bug movies. This is Chip, and I painted him on a tea bag. How fun is that? So that made a nice little paper clip. And then when I thought of Beauty and the Beast and all these fancy teapots and candlesticks, I thought about the doilies, so I encased some doilies in tracing paper. Beauty and the Beast. We found these vintage comic books, Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse, and so I tore some pages out, and they're from October 1955. I thought that was kind of fun and interesting. This was a golden book from Alice in Wonderland, so I cut that out and made it a tag. I inked all of this paper. This is another page from the book, so I made it into a tag with a little quote from Alice in the back. I just used as many images as I could from the little book. Made some tags of the Cheshire Cat and the hare. That's right in there. Cheshire Cat again. This is the vintage comic book again from 1955, the Mickey Mouse. This is actually a piece of hand marbled paper. I work with teachers in elementary schools, and children made this paper, and she gave me some offcuts, so I used it in this journal. Painted a little stitch down here and printed Lilo on some vellum, and this is also a tuck spot. So found this neat little stained glass guy, but you can also tuck. Well, you can, trust me. You can tuck cards up in there as well. Made this into a little pocket. On the other side here I have a little dog charm, look for the good spots in life, and this is the house where the Dalmatians lived. And so I have a little magnet that lifts up, and there's a Dalmatian card with some journaling space on the back. This next section is sort of my favorite. So Snow White was the first full-length feature production from Walt Disney. So I made this, took this movie poster and made it into a little fold-out to write, and then made a hidey hole tuck spot with this great image of Snow White. Then I made tags with each of the dwarves. So each tag, I think I saw this online somewhere, someone inspired me. So I did the drawings, and then I did definitions of their names. So sleepy, tired, often wants to nap. Found these great images of stamps that went with them, just journal on the back. I thought the wood looked nice with the images of the of the dwarves. There's the last one, so there's 7 altogether. This is a great quote from Winnie the Pooh. So I printed it on vellum, and you can lift up and write behind it, and found a little Pooh golden book image. This Lion King, I found this online somewhere. I was going to draw it, but I ran out of time, so I just printed it and cut it out as a belly band, and then took a piece of tea stained paper and some pattern things. This is a hand carved stamp that I did of a tree in Africa. But it sort of went with this journal. I was using it for some of my Africa journals. So this goes right back in here. This is another favorite page of mine. I took an old Pinocchio golden book, and this is the title page. So I took the title page and made it into an envelope, so she could put things in there. And then I took the introduction and cut it up and glued it. Even found a Pinocchio stamp. So that is on a magnet, and it just magnets on the edge. Other images from the book. This is just a paper clip that I made from one of the images from the book. And of course, can't have Pinocchio without Jiminy Cricket. Then a little painting of Bambi and Thumper, a little quote. Just a drawing of the Beauty and the Beast rose. I had to do a little page with the villains. Darling, it's better to look good than to be good. And on the back, the end with the 2 mice from Cinderella. Made it a large size pocket with a little classic Disney cartoons in there, and another image from the Cinderella book, and a Cinderella page, some washi tape for her to use, and just some random images, more stationary, things like that for her to do. So that is my Walt Disney book. I hope this provides a little bit of inspiration for everyone. Thanks for listening. Have a great night.